More Republican senators have now acknowledged Joe Biden's win in the Electoral College vote. Speaking off camera to reporters, Senate Majority Whip John Thune of South Dakota said, it's time for everybody to move on. Texas Senator John Cornyn also acknowledged Biden's path to becoming the next president and said attempts by House Republicans to protest the electoral count would be a bad mistake. Senator Rob Portman of Ohio issued a clear statement affirming the win, writing in part, although I supported President Trump, the Electoral College vote today makes clear that Joe Biden is now the president-elect. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina was a bit more evasive, saying in part, quote, it's a very, very narrow path for the president. I don't see how it gets there from here, given what the Supreme Court did. And he added that he had spoken to Biden and some of his likely cabinet nominees. Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa said, quote, like it or not, I know for Iowans it's disappointing, but the process is what it is and the Constitution will be followed. Asked if that means Biden is the president-elect, Ernst said, if that's what the Electoral College decides today. Okay. And Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming said he would, quote, respect the result of the Electoral College vote today, even if he was disappointed. All right. Joining us now, NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent and host of Way Too Early, Casey Hunt. Also with us, New York Times reporter Jeremy Peters.
Casey Hunt, so it looks like a lot of these members are at least hinting at
they're
publicly.
There.
Yeah, they're there. What they've been saying to you and me and other people privately for some time. It seems like the dam really broke yesterday.
Three cheers for democracy, right? This was too obvious, I think, for any of them to decide that they were going to continue to keep this up. And, you know, Thune, I think, had my favorite quote, which was a message directed straight at President Trump. He said, in the end, at some point, you have to face the music. And that is something that all of us in our day-to-day lives have had to deal with, figure out how to, you know, to live with those kinds of disappointments. It's a thing they start teaching you in elementary school. We have clearly seen the president is not very good at it, but Republicans are finally at the point where they're saying, nope, we got to move on with this. And I mean, Lindsey Graham, of course he's talked to Joe Biden. Of course he's trying to reach out to the people that he knows are going to be in power. That's the nature of the business. They all know that the center of power is shifting. And frankly, especially somebody like Lindsey Graham, who, Joe, I know you know very well, he wants to be close to the center of power, and he knows it's not going to be President Trump for much longer.
I've known him since 1994, and I know that if Joe Biden invited him to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom on January 20th, Lindsey would
have his jammies.
He would bring his jammies and yeah, his blankie, and he would be there. So Jeremy Peters, while Republican senators are facing the reality that they've known all along. They're just saying it out loud. There are, of course, pro-Trump outlets that actually are becoming even a bit more bizarre in their ramblings. And there was actually a split between Newsmax and the other one yesterday, where Newsmax seemed to recognize that, yes, Joe Biden was going to be the next president.
You're right, they did, although I caveat that, Joe, by pointing out that they did have the word president-elect in quotes on Newsmax for most of the day. So it doesn't appear that they're quite taking it as seriously as most other people, including those on Capitol Hill. And I think that really this is a moneymaker for a lot of these media companies. It's not just a moneymaker, it's an audience generator. It's a moneymaker for the Trump campaign, because they send out email solicitations at the rate of what seems to be about one an hour, and they have legal bills and debt that they have to pay off. This is something that you've seen, I think, across the conservative movement as a whole, where there's money to be made by getting people excited about unwinnable causes. And that's frankly what this entire process has been about. It's about setting the bar, saying we can win this court case, we can push these state legislatures lawmakers to do something that they're just not going to do. And then when those battles fail, Trump and his allies move the goalposts, and they say, well, as we saw Stephen Miller do yesterday, which I thought was really extraordinary. And for anybody who's thinking that the Republican Party is going to be right there behind Joe Biden all the way, I would point to Stephen Miller's comments yesterday, and he said the only thing that matters, the only date on the calendar that matters, is January 20th, the day that the inauguration is stipulated in the Constitution. So that's a long way from now, and I think there's going to be a lot of complaining, a lot of belly aching, and a lot of empty threats of new lawsuits over the next several weeks.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.